Hey, everybody. Time to pull that gun out of your mouth. That's what I just did. Man, it's time for another episode of the bonus show. Same shit, different pod. No, I'm just kidding. It'll actually be pretty good. I'm having a day. How are you holding up? How's your winter going, Dave?
I'm all right. It snowed today, but I was tearing it up in the snow. Just Tokyo drifting all over the place.
Oh, sick. Yeah, drifting all over the place like a Nintendo Switch controller. They announced another one of those apparently.
Yeah, Switch 2 has been announced, folks. So,
I've seen the one joke people made, which was in the reveal trailer or whatever. They had like the Joy-Cons like drifting around on ice like a car, and it's like, wow, they really had the Joy-Cons drifting in their own commercial, which is nuts.
Yeah, maybe it's a self-aware thing, or maybe they're just like, no, they're gonna be the same. But it's a Nintendo you know and love, so. Give us money, and we're gonna sue your child for drawing Mario.
Yeah, it's time for another one of those. Rip, by the way, to a real one. David Lynch, we just found out today he died on the day of the recording. I bet he would have loved the Switch too, probably. Yeah, I don't know.
he was reincarnated as the Switch too.
Oh shit! So, I didn't know that they figured out how to do that over in Japan.
Yeah, Oh no, they have a bunch of mystical like Shinto, like skills like that. So yeah, he's back.
I didn't know
in Switch form.
I didn't know that Nintendo employs necromancers, but I guess that's not too far out of character.
Yeah. They ran out of lawyer hiring funds and had to dip into the necromancer fund, but that's better.
Yeah,
I think.
It reminds me of fun story. There's a great PC game. It's a Shadowrun Hong Kong. It's based on the tabletop RPG, which is not as good, but it's about like cyberpunk bullshit. But there's also like magic and elves and whatever in the world. And there's a mission in that game where you have to like fuck with like the CEOs of a corporation or something. So you break into their like skyscraper and you just like mess up all the furniture to like make the feng shui energy of the tower go crazy, and it just unleashes demons and shit all over the place. It's awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if my feng shui is interrupted in any way, I lose my shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great game, by the way. People should check it out. The PC game, not the tabletop game. That one's not very good. But yeah, man. Anyway, I'm not gonna pretend like I was a big David Lynch aficionado or anything. I haven't seen Mulholland Drive. I haven't seen Twin Peaks, but I feel like, I don't know, I always appreciate that he was like a kind of like an artist's artist, right? He's like a weirdo that just happened to get to make all this like big budget Hollywood stuff today. And I saw a lot of like quotes and stuff and things about him on Blue Sky today. I'm like, man, rip to a fucking real one there.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the age of slop that we live in now. And not to say that there wasn't slop before, but now that we're reaching like peak slop, it is nice to look back on the memory of somebody who made things, whether you love his shit or whatever. I mean, you can't say that it's just like low effort fucking garbage like half of the shit that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's almost like weird stuff by definition is going to be off-putting to like a sizable chunk of the audience, right?
Sure.
So
yeah,
there was a little quote I saw from him. I'm not going to do it like verbatim or whatever, but he was like, people always want to talk about people see a movie and then they want to talk about it or something, but like that's the movie. The movie talks about itself, right? And it was this whole deal of like I get the impression he was very much not in line with this mentality we see in fandom that we've talked about before, about like everything needs a canon explanation, everything needs a wiki, everything needs like 200 fucking YouTube analysis videos or whatever. There's a real like trend in a lot of his work that I'm seeing now that's like, yeah, it's just some weird shit and like it speaks for itself and you should just go in and experience it like firsthand without any of this like extraneous extraneous bullshit, and I think that's really refreshing, and kind of makes me want to check out some of his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of this media, especially really good media, which has a short run or whatever. Like, it's self-contained, and I understand the appeal for like super fans to have to like deconstruct everything, but it's just like, man, do we really need like a 35-minute video on why like Tony's son in The Sopranos was like actually not that bad? Like, I mean, I don't know, I guess, but when it gets to like extrapolating like outside lore and kind of like filling in blanks, it's just like that wasn't in the movie or the show because it's not a part of the narrative. So like you obsessing over this is like kind of it's like, do you? I guess I think it's kind of a bizarre thing to like fixate on, but I'm not like a media autist like that.
Yeah, I think one of the worst cases of this is Star Wars, right? And I say this as if I've ever seen a Star Wars movie, which I haven't. Not even the classic ones. But
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, okay, so allegedly, when I was a little kid, my mom tells me, "Oh, you loved Star Wars. You saw the movies. You had all these toys." But like, I don't fucking remember this. The only Star Wars toys I ever remember owning as a kid, if you can call them toys, they were like these like limited edition like 7-Eleven Slurpee cups that had like little plastic like head busts, like whatever, of the various characters or something. I remember I had a bunch of those, but I don't know.
That sounds familiar.
I'm sure you could look up like Star Wars sippy cup or some shit like that, and I probably had quite a few of those. What was I gonna say?
I mean, George Lucas was such like a merch slut that probably everything that could have ever been made that you could slam like Boba Fett's head on or something has been made. There's probably an officially licensed LucasArts fucking Obi-Wan dildo out there somewhere in like Uzbekistan or something.
Oh, without a doubt. It's one of those franchises. I know over in Japan, the classic anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, it's also like notoriously like over merched. There was a challenge somebody did where they tried to see if they could live for an entire year off of nothing but like Evangelion branded merch or whatever, and they had like all the instant ramen. They had like there was some official Doritos or whatever that I saw. There's a bunch of like household products or whatever that just have like the big fucking robot and like the cute girls or whatever. It's kind of crazy. But the thing I was going to say about Star Wars, right, is it's one of the worst cases where like you go online and you see a lot of like really insufferable nerds, and there are all these like big Star Wars wikis that have like these insane facts down to the most random like glup shitto ass character in the background of every scene or something. And it's kind of crazy that it became that, because like when you look at the original Star Wars movies, the oldest ones, a lot of the sci-fi like alien bullshit in there, it wasn't really done with that intention in mind. It was more like, yeah, the costume designer had these materials on set today, so we decided to make an alien that looks like this. This is just what we had on hand at the time, you know? So
yeah, it's truly like if we had like some stupid fucking bullshit like meme item, and then like archaeologist aliens from like 3,000 years later are just like, what is this artifact? This is very it must have like some sort of religious explanation. It must just be something.
A fucking like Funko Pop fertility idol.
Yes,
or whatever.
exactly. Or it's like Kirby with like a fucking fat ass and fucking long legs on it.
It's like some DeviantArt fan fiction or whatever. Fan art.
Yeah. It's Greg Heffley with like big ass titties, and it's like, they must have worshipped this fertility god.
Mm-hmm. I think depending on what survives, the aliens might find, this species here sure had a lot of fertility gods.
Yeah, if they find the DeviantArt archive server hard drives, they'll be just like, yeah, man, they were really into fertility.
Yeah, they try to download E621 and it's just like the mothership blowing up in like Independence Day or whatever.
Yeah. Or they just find all the like diaper porn. They're like, oh yeah, this is a fertility thing too, because they like they value like infants so much that they just draw, you know, big burly men with diapers on, and even dogs and cats.
Yeah, now I'm just imagining humans. Like all the animal headed like ancient Egyptian gods, except they've got a big fucking diaper on there, you know?
Yes, exactly.
It's exactly like that. Another classic example of this in movies, by the way, you know, the Mad Max franchise, fucking classic post-apocalyptic thing. Sure, it set the aesthetic for a lot of that stuff. So the reason why a lot of the costumes and whatever in Mad Max look that way is because when they were filming the movie originally, they had to like put up, they had to create like a costume budget. With not a lot of money, so they got a lot of the costume stuff from like a nearby sex store, which is why everybody's wearing like padded leather and all these belts and chains and everything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, and you know now bondage has become irrevocably just part of the post-apocalyptic aesthetic for everything that evokes Mad Max or whatever. So
yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, you'd think it's because like, you know, they can't find a lot of like cloth and shit, and leather lasts longer, so everything else wore off. But no, it's because the costume designer just that's what they had.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. I don't know. You see that aesthetic in a lot of things, and it's just funny knowing the little origin of it there.
Yeah. And it's funny how people kind of like retcon shit to explain like just aesthetic choices that were made out of utility. And it's just like, oh yeah, he looks that way because on their planet they wear cock rings as a sign of loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is this anal fisting point. That's actually how they say hello in this alien planet or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Star Wars and David Lynch. Once again, R.I.P. to a real one. You seem very cool.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah. Always a bad day when another Dave departs from this bitch of an earth.
True. And you know what? I like as much as we'll miss him. It's probably good that he departed from this mortal coil before. He saw the true rise of the second screen Netflix and shitification of media that's about to envelop us for at least a little while.
Oh, God. I think it's already here, but I definitely think it's going to get a bit worse before it gets any better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's already here, but it's gonna be like... It's gonna be like ubiquitous for a while, and then I think people are gonna get sick of it and just, you know, move on to their other like second screen dopamine fix, or they'll just become like media gooners and they'll just like truly devolve into the Netflix original second screen slop content with Family Guy funniest clips playing and like somebody scooping ice cream into perfect balls and
okay, don't go after my ice cream posting. Okay, that's peak content. You can take away the other things, but I you will have to pry that from my cold dead strawberry flavored hands.
Honestly, I have way more respect for that shit than the Netflix second screen bullshit, because at least that's just an aesthetic, and that's like, I guess it's in a sense like it's photography. It's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's cool to look at, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But like when you're posturing as an art piece and it's really just like slop that's truly designed to just be background noise, like nah.
Last night I I was deeply offended by a little bit of slop I found late at night. So it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was just kind of I was going through it. I was fully doom spiraling and just watching the most like repetitive garbage on YouTube or whatever. And I was watching one of these random channels. It was not very big. It was like it's like 70K subs or something. It was one of those like, here's the top 10 weirdest things found on Reddit or whatever. And I was watching, it was
Number 15.
Number 15. So it was like darkest stuff on Reddit part 8, and I watched the video from front to back, and it was like it had like 3 chapters of like 3 different like big Reddit posts that had like some shit about them. And because I started the series on part 8, I was like, okay, let's watch darkest shit on Reddit part 7. And they just, this person, it was the same channel, they reused one of the stories entirely, just like from one episode to the other. And I'm like, why is nobody calling them on this? They're just like 1/3 of this entire video is just recycled from the previous video in the series. And I was like, man, this sucks. I hate that this person can find any kind of success on this platform at all. It just really bothered me.
I mean, that's like, the thing is, I think that stuff kind of finds a niche, and it's just like autoplay bullshit. It's probably like iPad kids just auto playing whatever. And the thing is, well, like how do they get the subs and the likes and stuff like that? And it's like I've seen these like absolute like media rotted kids on their iPads and phones and shit before, and like they'll just like and subscribe to anything. And it's weird. I don't even think they like or even watched half of this shit. I think they get like an extra little dopamine bonus from hitting the like and subscribe button, which is one of the reasons why like all these people will, like, you'll see like I don't know, some like middling fucking whatever bullshit like YouTube channel or whatever, or like even Instagram or something, and they'll always try to flex in the bio and be like 1.1 million followers on TikTok, and it's like, that's not a flex, dude. Like they will fucking click follow on fucking anything, dude. Anything. It doesn't matter. They're not like engaged with you. They're not a part of your community.
Yeah,
it's just like
we've said this before, but it kind of reminds me of watching like the old people going to the slot machines in the casino, and they just look completely fucking lifeless, just pressing the button over and over
100%.
again. It's like 100%.
That. Yes.
Except in toddlers.
Yeah. And I've told this story on the pod before, but I worked and I sat at a desk next to this chick before who it was truly like a seminal, and that's why I keep bringing it up, like a seminal memory in my mind of watching this girl. I was like mouth agape, and I'm not saying like I didn't like fucking scroll or like be fucking terminally online or something.
Whomst among us has not, right?
for sure. But I've never seen anything like this. It was just like literally like scroll, double tap, scroll, double tap, scroll, double tap, scroll, double. It's like there's no way you're seeing any of this stuff. Like there's no way it was like fucking Johnny Five reading a book is just like flipping through the pages 1 millisecond at a time. Like, that's good. I like that. And it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. So that kind of told me that the likes, like they don't mean anything. I don't know if she was just like seeing her friends' names, or if it was like a follow like for like fucking bullshit, or if it's like social currency with them or whatever, or if she just got her extra fucking dopamine kick from double tapping on the photo and seeing that fucking little heart pull up. But like, yeah, it's truly like a bizarre sense of like, yeah, it's absolutely those meme videos that you see with like a bunch of like really sad boomers just like pawing at a slot machine and then just like mashing 7 buttons at once.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just a few years away from becoming one of those like Sunday morning cartoon comic artists in the newspaper, and I'll just have a strip that goes like from cradle to the grave, and it's like a toddler with an iPad tapping the button, and then like a teenager with a phone tapping the button on like a gotcha game or something, and then like an old person tapping the button on the slot machine. That's gonna be an epic and funny joke that really says a lot about society.
You know what? I wouldn't even hate on that. That's actually kind of clever, and it's true.
I know you're trying to.
It's true.
I know you're trying to gas me up right now, but I have to say that this is just a sign that both of us are getting old.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't be like, hey, this is like peak, but like it's. I mean, it's better than like my bitch wife, I want to grill type of boomer humor.
Well, you see,
that might do numbers on Facebook, although it might call out like most of that demographic. So,
here's the thing.
That's
here's
why
the thing, Dave.
Cool.
It's you see, it's funny because it's actually very true.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe I need to refine the way I talk about this because it's been on my mind like so much for the past couple months. But I feel like, I don't know, in the near future, I feel like society really needs to have like a reckoning or like come to Jesus moment about like, yeah, maybe our attention spans are kind of fucked right now. Maybe we need to like do something big about that, but I don't know what just yet.
Yeah, and I think even like I think even like the young people, like the truly rotted, the ultra scrollers, they know something's wrong.
Yeah, it's like on some level, even when you're deep into it, it's like, okay, even if you're struggling with this as like an addiction or whatever, and I do think it is kind of an addiction.
For sure.
You're not having a good time. Like maybe
Yeah.
you're passing the time. Maybe you're making some of those neurons in your brain fire off for just like a split second here or there. Like I said, all of us are guilty of this. Nobody's free of the slop completely, but man, it's not good. Like I've said, I've talked before about how like my mom can't go anywhere in the house without having her little phone and headphones attached, listening to some video or even on speaker if she doesn't feel like taking her headphones out or whatever. And I'm like, you seem sick. You feel like a hospital patient carrying around their little piss bag on wheels or whatever. I forget the medical term for it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've made some small changes in my own life, right? And this will sound like pathetically minuscule, but like sometimes when I go upstairs to like make a sandwich or something, like I will just leave my phone downstairs in my room. I don't need to check what's going on Discord or Blue Sky or whatever for the 5 to 10 minutes it takes me to make a fucking sandwich, And I feel like doing a lot of these little things just to like reclaim parts of my day, or like maybe I'll put some food in the microwave for like 3 minutes or something, and like I'll just stare out the window. I have a beautiful yard. I live in the country. I can just enjoy that for a few minutes and the peace and quiet instead of like scrolling up and down for like, what the fuck am I going to get out of like 3 minutes of scrolling, And I feel like this just makes my life a bit better.
Yeah, I mean it's a double-edged sword of the internet and technology and all this shit is like there are a lot of great things about it. Like we truly live in the information age. Wow. But
more like the disinformation age thanks to Orange Man.
Yeah, fake news. But like it's a little bit harder now because I was lamenting about this earlier because I looked up something about shooting video and shutter speed on a video camera, and the top 5 search results I got were like AI slop that was like purely just number one, not even correct. But it was just like, and you can tell when it's AI slop because it's like a nameless, like the blog will like. So as I said, I searched up something about shutter speed and shooting video because I'm familiar with it with shooting still photography, but I wanted to know more about shutter speed with video, and it was like
Right.
the website was like shutterspeedvideo.com, and it was like we talk about shutter speed and video, and then it was just like this clearly like AI generated bullshit.
Some like
just,
top 15 article written by like Mr. Camera or something like that.
yeah. Well, no, they didn't even they don't even bother to like fake putting like an author on there. It's just like nonsense text, which is like maybe like 25% of it is valid and the rest is just like nonsense, and it repeats itself throughout the article. It's just like padding over and over, and it's like, man, like you can learn so much from this, but like it's getting, I mean, especially with the rise of fucking ChatGPT bullshit, it's in like this shit was there before, but I think it was just kind of like plagiarized and scraped and whatever.
Yeah,
for
a couple years now, like you search up anything on Google and it has like the little questions like, what is this thing about your search? And you can click on it and it has that, and that's always like been in like AI generated whatever bullshit, or just like
sure.
This kind of reminds me actually, I have a lot of X.com, the everything app, tabs open because it's related to something I want to talk about later in the show. This is not about that, but I found that, you know, I don't really use X.com for anything other than like if I'm looking for like a funny thing to talk about on our bonus episodes anymore.
Yes.
But I will say over the last couple months, like especially since everybody like moved over to Blue Sky or whatever, I've noticed they're shilling their AI Grok more and more, and I feel like the character from Mean Girls, like stop trying to make Grok happen. It's not going to happen. But here we are, and this is just a feature I just noticed like in the last couple of minutes, like while we were going over this and preparing for the show. Now when you hover over somebody's name on X and you get the little pop-up like their little profile bio or whatever, there's a new button at the bottom that says profile summary with the Grok icon, because like reading an entire Twitter bio is too much work, so now you can have Grok summarize the Twitter bio.
Oh, good, because those 3 lines of text that were in the bios usually, I can't really do it.
Yeah, it's even worse because
I don't have time.
There's an even worse part of this, and I guess, you know, spoiler, we're going to talk about the Chinese app Rednote later in the show, but this is a little spoiler. I just want to talk about the AI thing first. So here's a sample tweet that I saw while we were looking at this, and ignoring the contents of it, it says here, all these TikTok refugees are going over to Rednote, signing terms and conditions in Chinese. Baby, y'all are registering for the Squid Games, which, okay, wow, very clever, shut up. But below this post, there are 2 buttons with the Grok icon, and they say, what are Rednote's privacy risks? How does Squid Game relate? And it's like, now I don't know what pressing these buttons does, but like you can have Grok do like an AI summary of an entire fucking tweet as if it's like, it's a tweet, it's 2 sentences, what is there to summarize, you know? This is insane to me.
It's like it's kind of harrowing in a way, because it's like, I mean, these people, first of all, to address the tweet, first, Squid Games is Korean. I don't know if they were really trying. That is a little to get at that.
That's a little bit of a bit of an ethnic microaggression, I would say.
Yeah. But also like, motherfucker, you are on X.com and you're gonna talk about like an app is like dangerous because of my information or something. Shut the fuck up.
I've seen somebody say like, oh, try to say something about the Tiananmen Square or whatever on Rednote, see where that gets you, and somebody screenshotted a post of them just saying the word cisgender and their tweet got like hidden or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they hate us for our freedom.
Yeah, it's truly ridiculous. I saw somebody else post something, and it was a classic fucking X.com zinger poster wannabe fucking like smug douchebag that was like, Zoomers be like, yeah, give permissions to Rednote, yeah, allow them to access my thing, yeah, whatever. It's like, you think they give a fuck? You think they give a fuck about their fucking like phone privacy? Like, no, they don't give a shit. It's not like tech illiteracy. It's not like they care about privacy but will just like give it to a Chinese app. How is that any different? Dude, you're a fucking blue check loser who's like trying to like smug post on X, which I'm sure you still think is Twitter because you're still holding on to the fucking hope that you're gonna be drill someday, and motherfucker, let me tell you, you're not
Gonna be drill. You're gonna be cat turd. That's all you can aspire to be.
Yeah, at the very most. Except cat turd, I supposedly makes money from this shitty platform.
At least he did at some point. I heard that the Twitter payouts for even the biggest like Elon Musk lasers have gone like way down over time. So.
Oh, sure. I think they paid like a bunch of random people a bunch of money so that they could be like, just for the pyramid scheme aspect of like, I got $16,000 on X. Thanks, Elon. Mm-hmm. And then after they did that, they were like, yeah, actually, we're not paying you anymore. Go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then like, so to the other point with the Grok shit is like, these people already have like zero media literacy, and we'll say social media literacy in this sense, and it's like, okay, how can we mitigate that? Not that that's the intention of this. It's just to push Grok because all these fucking morons. It's a sunk cost fallacy that they all got on the AI train, and even though they're paying like exorbitant amounts of money to keep this shit afloat, which has absolutely no function other than generating garbage, it's now you can like learn about this instead of even replying to the post and saying like, what do you mean by that? You can just click this and it'll tell you something that's completely wrong and irrelevant. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. I don't know. I was gonna leave the whole Rednote thing till later in the show, even though I have other topics. But fuck it. Let's just dive straight into this.
Rock
So okay. So from what I understand, TikTok is going to be banned in the United States in a couple days at the time of this recording. Probably, right. I don't know. This episode might go up before it's banned. I think it's going up on the 9th. I think the ban is coming into effect on the 19th, I want to say. So whatever. It's in there for bullshit reasons. I think the ban is probably going to be temporary. It seems like Trump isn't like a fan of it, and it seems like it would be a very easy dub to just be like, look at what this dumbass Biden did, banning a popular thing beloved by the American people or whatever. I don't know. I think TikTok will probably be fine in the long run or whatever.
Sure.
But I guess in protest of this, and maybe also in protest of like Meta and Facebook, because let's not kid ourselves, this whole ban is just meant to like artificially boost numbers for Facebook and Instagram and all these.
Which is not going to happen.
No,
people these fucking
hate
children don't want to go on Facebook or Meta. Or Facebook or Instagram or any of that. They don't even want to go on X.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The TikTok kids, they don't want that. That involves reading, and the only reading they like to do is when it's the Mr. Beast font that mirrors what somebody is shouting into the camera. So how is that going to work? None of them have. Like, well, I mean, Instagram has Reels, but like it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so in protest of this, what's going on with TikTok, a lot of people out here in the West are moving to a Chinese app called, I guess it's called Rednote in English. I believe it's called Xiao Hong Shu in Mandarin. In Chinese, whatever. Anyway, sorry if I mispronounced that. Who cares? Anyway, so Rednote is basically like the Chinese version of TikTok in a lot of ways, like the exact same UI, the exact same purpose as like little short videos, whatever, and people can post comments, stuff like that. And I guess just in the last couple days, there's been like the most like hilarious little cultural exchange between like Americans and Chinese people who I guess don't really have a lot of contact otherwise because of the Great Firewall or whatever. And I just wanted to share some very funny posts about things I've seen going on over there and just like people's general reaction. I just want to talk about the vibe of what's going on over on Rednote because it's very funny and it's also very interesting. So let's queue up some of these little screenshots and posts.
Yeah. While you do that, you sent me one before the show.
Okay.
And I think it's funny. Just that like it's not like a TikTok like imposter. They're not trying to like do like a TikTok style app. It is a literal 1-to-1 clone from the screenshot you sent me with TikTok. Like it's identical. Mm-hmm. It's identical. Like it's an absolute clone. Which is hilarious. It's
exactly
awesome.
It's very funny. Anyway, so here's a random screenshot I found. This one is very funny to me. It's like a Chinese guy wearing a cowboy hat and pouring some whiskey or something, and he says "My American folks" with like a Chinese subtitle translation underneath that. So this is very good. Big fan of this guy.
Yeah. It's like a Rawhide Kobayashi, but it's Rawhide. I don't know a lot of Chinese surnames. Rawhide
Right.
Lee.
Yeah, there we go. name 5 Chinese names. Anyway, that one's very funny. This one, I think both of us will get a little bit of a kick out of this. So this is a video of like a very buff, very beautiful Chinese woman, just like at the gym working out. And somebody comments below, how you say mommy in Chinese, like in a horny way. Surely it can't just be Chinese characters, right? And I think great question. Truly asking what the people want to know.
Yeah, homily biscuit. We're of the same mind. I respect your inquiry and your curiosity about life.
The people want to know.
Yeah. She do be buff as fuck though.
She looks great. Yeah,
her shoulders are wide. She's shoulder mogging me. I thought I had like broad shoulders. Holy shit.
God, I know, right? I have heard that there's a lot of propaganda and hearsay about like what's going on with like LGBT people over in China or whatever. And from what I've learned in the last couple days, I still don't know anything about the laws. I think it's like, from what I can tell, the LGBT community over in China is like, it's a lot more like low key and kind of subtle, but it's not like persecuted to the same degree. People are just a bit quieter about it. And I've heard some very funny stories of like people on X.com will be like, try posting any of that gay shit on Rednote and you'll get banned immediately. And other people are replying with screenshots of like, oh, these Chinese lesbians love me. I'm just getting so many DMs from beautiful Chinese lesbians. And I'm like, wow, it really makes you think. Really makes me think about some prospects for the future. Maybe, I don't know, something to think about.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I found a relevant screenshot. So this was a conversation. People are saying, "Oh, I'm having conversations with my Chinese spy." That's how they're referring to all their new Chinese friends over on Rednote. And this conversation goes, the Chinese person asks, "I heard that LGBT is active. Do you support them?" "Yes, I am actually a lesbian. Respect you. Thank you. I like girls too, but I am a man."
see that's the epic handshake meme right there. It's like we can all find something in common.
Yeah,
And
this little convo right here, this is like the start of Chinese super disparaged between an American me and like a Chinese you. This is the same dynamic we have on this show.
No, exactly. Yeah, I would say
we are big girls likers on this show.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of more people turning into girls. And I like girls myself, so
yeah, it's a win-win. It's like the Predator meme where we're both very buff and muscular and we're shaking hands in agreement. It's exactly that.
Yep.
Yeah, not like in a predatory way. I'm just referencing the movie Predator. Don't get it twisted.
yeah. We're talking about classic cinema here. Rip to David Lynch again.
We're just talking about going to other countries to find love. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, hey, I mean, I did it, but not intentionally.
Like maybe at some kind of hotel where you can find that, like a hotel for love. No, I'm just kidding.
I had a side note, irrelevant, but my friend sent me a picture of, it was actually from Reddit. She scrolls Reddit a bunch, which, don't judge. I know you're on X.com, motherfucker. Shut up.
Whomst among us has not browsed a Reddit thread from time to time?
Sure. But it was like a photo from, they found like a love hotel with a water slide that goes into the jacuzzi. And you know what? Hate on that. Try it. Find something to hate on that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is another thing I wanted to share. Once again, I feel like the theme of this episode is really just like people coming together across different cultures to revel in our shared experiences, the things that bring us all together. This is a post from a Chinese user who is like Americans, making fun of the way British people pronounce bottle of water. The Chinese person writes "bo-o wote," which I guess, I don't know. It's very funny. I think we can all agree. Yeah, British people are kind of weird like that.
Yeah, I do know the last character, the one that's repeated, is like ha 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 ha.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they also have all those cute little like emojis. They're like peaches and like pandas and whatever. I'm a big fan of those. We should bring those over here.
Yeah, the Asians do they do emojis, right? I mean, like emojis to begin with were a Japanese thing. It was a Japanese term, emoji. But yeah, the Korean chat app had banger like default emojis as well. We're really slacking on our emote game over here with like default emotes for apps. That is, I know a lot of Discord servers have huge bangers in them, including ours. But
we actually just added some new stickers that I'm very proud of, where I was doing a little corner gag comic riff on the worker and parasite bit from The Simpsons, except it's Dave and I, and I'm
so good.
I'm a big fan of these. It's probably going to become merch at some point. It's very small on the YouTube video, but I did draw that at full resolution, so look out for that.
Yeah, I actually printed this out on my photo printer, and it looks fucking fantastic. In a larger format. So if and when we ever make like a t-shirt or something larger format, that's going to be the first design. I'm calling it right now. I'm putting my foot down.
I've already heard from one or two people in our audience, which is very reliable when it comes to buying our merch, that they would buy this t-shirt. So
yeah, there you go. All right, well,
yeah. I have a couple more things about Rednote, but some of these are going to get a little bit more serious, a little bit more discoursey. Okay. I've gotten through the funny ones. So apparently, it turns out people on Rednote, I guess the Chinese users, are big fans of Luigi Mangione. Someone said they just got into Rednote, and the first thing they saw was this, and maybe you can describe this for the audience, Dave.
Sure. Okay. Oh wow! So this is like an anime. It looks like a manga cover.
Yeah, it
with
does.
Luigi Mangione. It's very well done.
It looks a little painterly to me.
And there's two cops. Oh no, there's four cops. There's two like they're on the four corners of him. And he's got his head up and he's just looking like a proud Chad, and the cops have their heads down
it's very like, what are you gonna do sort of look, you know?
Right, yeah. Definitely painted as a hero here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is pretty fire. I saw somebody else was talking about it. I think this is translated from Chinese, but I'll just read this aloud. Again, this is auto translate. It says, I use GPT translate it into the person who carries firewood for the masses should not be left to freeze in the wind and snow. Hope you can understand. And wow, that's just a beautiful sentiment right there.
Let's go, man. Yeah. See, the
very
Chinese
wise.
Yeah, very, very wise. That's Wiseposting. Wiseposting 101. Get on that level, losers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chinese have like badass adages like that. And yeah, I agree. I agree with that. That man walked so we could run to Walmart to get a high-powered rifle to just shoot at targets. Mm-hmm. And paper targets.
Exactly. Just for the practice, the completely legal second amendment, right? Whatever.
Right.
I guess this is a bit of a funny thing related to that. I just want to say, I hope we can still continue to use Rednote, because I feel like this is a decisive victory in the incoming age of Wiseposting. This is a post from another user who says, me after I download Rednote, and it's like a black guy wearing a do-rag, but he also has like the Chinese scholar like buttoned shirt or whatever, and the little glasses. Big fan of that.
Oh yeah. With the little hat and the top knot thing. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then there's another post, which I guess I'll read carefully. It says, how neighbors feel after calling Rednote Zhao Hong Shu. And it's like a white guy very stiffly posed wearing the long red Chinese robe, which is very funny to me.
It's a Shutterstock stock image with the watermark still on it, which I fucking love.
It's so good. And I guess one more, just because I saw it on my feed just now. This one says, America, we're going to ban TikTok because the Chinese are stealing your data. Me reuniting with my Chinese spy on Rednote, and it's like a gif of like two Dragon Ball characters like embracing each other.
Yeah, in this, like all of these, it's so funny because like supposedly the ban on this was partially like to keep like Chinese influence.
They said it's a national security thing, which get the fuck out of here.
National security. Fuck you. With your national security experts.
Senators completely bought by APAC are very concerned about what TikTok is doing with your browsing data.
And number one, our government and all of these people like voting on bills and all I'm sure like the director of like cybersecurity is some like ancient motherfucker who hasn't used a computer since like 1997, and they're like, turn the mainframe off with the modem and make sure that you don't have cookies on your web browser, everybody.
Listen, the senator we have in charge of this is a very spry 88 years old, throat cancer notwithstanding. Once
he gets his other adrenochrome shot, he's going to be back in action to vote on more bills that he doesn't understand. China bad. But the funny thing is, like, they supposedly did this to, curb Chinese influence, even if they say it's a cybersecurity thing, like, whatever.
Don't worry, Mr. G. We'll pick up the slack.
but now, because the average TikTok user didn't give a shit about China. Mm-hmm. They didn't think about it ever. And now, like, they're on this app that is just like flooding them with like absolute Chinese influence, which is So fucking
ancient
funny.
wisdom. A lot of wise posting is transpiring before our eyes.
Yeah. That's the thing. The government didn't want us to get wise, and now we're getting wise.
Right. Anyway, I have a bit more here. This is a little two-parter here. So somebody on Rednote asked, as an American, can you guys tell us what's wrong with our country, looking at it from your perspective outside of America? And a Chinese user responds, we have tried this two-party kind of system in Ming Dynasty. It didn't work. And then like a cheeky little peach emoji, and it says, remember, my friend, only Marxism can save America.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
that's it.
Spitting facts right there.
Yeah.
Can I get a true right here? Yeah.
Yeah. Give this man a true.
Another thing, I saw this post. I'm not going to read all of these because there are many responses, but this is a post. Apparently, Israelis are getting ate alive on Rednote. This app is absolutely glorious. So an Israeli user posts on Rednote, I'm from Israel, and you can ask anything you want to know. And one of the replies that I wanted to highlight here was... where is it? I won't say anything. I just want you to know that based on what Israel is doing today, if Satan really exists, he would have an Israeli tattoo on his back. Another person writes, fuck off, fucking pure evil motherfucker, fascist Jews. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Another Chinese user just says, get the fuck out of here and death to colonizers, watermelon emoji. I don't actually know what the watermelon emoji means.
I don't know either.
I've seen it a lot in, I think, discourse about Israel. I don't know. Hopefully it's not like an anti-Semitic dog whistle or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what did they expect? Well, I mean, assuming this, you can't really tell from the post, but assuming this person is a Zionist, which I would kind of assume so, just because they're like, well, I'll find friends on this app, unlike all the other ones which call me and my country murderers. And then all these Chinese people are like, yeah, fuck you. Fucking kill yourself.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think a lot of the hardcore Zionists or whatever, I say that as if there are softcore ones. I don't know. They all seem pretty hardcore to me nowadays.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think a lot of them just do this. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to bait a response. Look at me being so innocent, like I don't know any better. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, fuck off. You know exactly what kind of response you're going to get.
I mean, that could be it too. So that they can do this, and others should be like, yeah, everybody's so anti-Semitic. And it's like, don't call anti-Zionism anti-Semitism when you're just like, hey, here's some propaganda of when I was like doing a TikTok dance on the corpse of like some Palestinians, and then people are like, yo, that's fucked up, and they're like, oh, I can't believe people are such bigots against my religion and race.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah,
Bummer.
it's, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's hard to be a murderer these days. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I see the same thing. A lot of videos over the past year or so of like some Israeli tourist in another country just acting like an absolute like fucking clown fuck or whatever. It's like, wow, I can't believe they hate Jews. Look at me just like throwing food on the locals at a sporting event or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I used to work at a place with a lot of Hasidic Jews and a lot of like Israeli tourists, and in some of them were great, some of them are cool, but like, man, you would get like a boys or girls summer camp. The girls ones were usually okay, but man, the boys summer camps, holy fucking shit. Like, this is not a racial or religious thing. They're teaching them something that makes them think that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. which is which I mean I would assume this is a cornerstone of Zionism. Like
I don't know. I genuinely think that Israel is like a fascist country, right? And like on every level, I do think fascism is like a cancer of the soul, and I do think that just like bubbles to the surface when you see like a lot of the more hardcore people go out to these other countries, and like I'm not saying it's all the tourists, but like I don't know, when like the predominant ideology of like most people in the country is this like really fucked up, violent kind of settler colonial like nationalism or whatever, like that's what you get. I think these people are broken because they have hate in their hearts or whatever, and it's like it's not like an ethnic thing or whatever. I think, you know, plenty of completely like white waspy ass like American people who just also support the Israel project are like they're just as bad, you know. So
so it's not to be clear, it's not an indictment of, definitely not an indictment of ethnicity, and to a lesser extent religion, even though I think like religion is an excuse that shitty people use to do shitty things. But I mean I think about a lot. It's like, man, it must suck to be like a not shitty Israeli in Israel. I mean, I'm an American, so like, and you know, like we get a lot of hate just for all the fucking shitty shit that our country has done. But like, it's I mean, it's turned up to a much higher degree when you're like an Israeli. So like, it's got to be shitty to just be like, yeah, I'm from Israel, but no, okay, let me do a 20-minute disclaimer about how I'm not a fucking piece of shit like the people who not only run our country but half of the motherfuckers who are in it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how well this will translate to the audio format of the bonus episode, but I just wanted to share this image post with you because this is, I don't know, this just knocked me off my socks. This is incredibly funny. What are we looking at here?
So so we have Peter and Lois Griffin, but with like these like soft anime eyes and
kind of eyebrows and lips as well, but like the rest of it is just like exactly the Family Guy art style. Looks very uncanny. It's
truly bizarre, and then there's like a transparent American flag over the top left, and then there's like a waving American flag, another one in case you weren't sold yet on the American flag. There's another one in the bottom right. So I mean, that's Family Guy. That's the American family.
Right.
They're all like this.
There was one more, I guess two more actually. This is a bit of a two-parter here, posts about Rednote. This person says, allegedly they're dividing the Rednote servers into mainland and foreigner next week, and people are making really sad posts about it. And this has two screenshots. The first is the Jim Carrey, what's the Jim Carrey movie where he's like the guy observed in the bubble dome or whatever the entire time?
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show, right. And it has Jim Carrey going, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And the person in Chinese, they write, if uncontrollable circumstances ever cause our connection to break again, let us always remember the love and trust we share at this moment. If there are negative rumors about each other in the future, we can firmly say to ourselves, this is not what I see. Thank you for being here. And wow, that's a really beautiful thing.
I mean, like, this makes me think, like, I mean, okay, so you can go completely cynical and just say like, oh, this app was like a plant and it was flooded with like a bunch of people who are trying to like humanize and make the China and the Chinese government seem good or whatever. But like none of this shit I've seen has been like political. I think well,
a little bit of it has been, but
sure, but like not like, glorious CCP, Americans should like see how good our country is or anything like that. It's kind of just like, I mean, truly like humanizing these people in a way of just like, I think it's just as likely that it's just like a bunch of people who are like finally have the avenue to like, you know, kind of like connect with people far away, and they're probably all cool, and they think
it's not just a lot of people. There are more of them than there are of us out here.
For sure.
And they're very online.
Yeah, and they're just like, hey, I know you guys don't like us for whatever reason, because I'm sure they hear that all the time, is like, Americans think you're shitty dicks, which for any Chinese listeners out here, that's not true. A lot of people are either just fucking ignorant fucks, or they think your government is not good, which, you know, I could say the same about the U.S. government for a lot of overlapping, but in some ways different reasons. But like, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, people just kind of want to like connect with other humans and forget about all this stupid fucking political shit that overshadows us at all times.
Right, and this is why I made it a point to share like the goofy like Family Guy edit, or the person like thirsting over the beautiful Chinese woman in the gym, or like the Chinese guy wearing the cowboy hat and pouring out some whiskey. You know, I think at the end of the day, you know, I know it sounds very trite and like quippy, but like, you know, they're just like us, and I really want to discover what it means to be part of the Chinese meme / shitpost culture. I think they're very funny, and I want to know more. But the story does not end here, because in spite of that last post I shared to you, somebody else replies, that's fake news, folks. Rednote is not going to separate servers. Instead, it's developing translation function right now. And supposedly they are also looking to hire a bunch of English-speaking content moderators for the app. So it looks like, at least, you know, since the company is hiring people, it might be here to stay. We might just be in the new era of glorious American Chinese cooperation, at least among the common shitposting class.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, how long did it take for these idiots to ban TikTok? Like ages. And I know, like, I mean, they could maybe fast track, but like, okay, so they get rid of this one, and then what's to stop like another one from forming? Like, you can't just like, what, like, how do you ban all social media? Fucking inshallah, motherfucker, go for that, for sure.
I mean, even in this short time, like, people make jokes about it, but like, this is genuinely like a big learning experience for a lot of, like, let's be real, like fairly ignorant like American people. Like, wow, I guess Chinese people really are just like us. And like, it's like the sentiment was shared, you know, every time we hear some shit about like, oh, they do this crazy thing in China in the future, we can firmly say to ourselves, this is not what I see. You know. So.
Yeah, which is like, ideally the like, what could be the most positive aspect of social media, and that the things you see on there, like again, ideally would be just people posting shit. So it's not just like some fucking media outlet funded by some ghoul with political connections. It's just like, you can't publish that. Publish this instead. And it's just a bunch of bullshit, and we're all fed fucking nonsense the whole time. Like, and then people could be like, it's not like that here at all. Like, that's all fucking bullshit. Here, look. But like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, at this point, TikTok, like so many other outlets, has just been filled with like shit. It's not genuine. It's kind of like when you look at Blue Sky now, and it seems kind of wholesome, even though, like, for sure there's fucking annoying ass people on there.
It's not a perfect site, but it's better. It's better.
But because on there's no clear path to monetization. It's kind of just like it's kind of like a more pure and genuine social media site where people can like post shit. But like, I mean, all of these like something like Facebook is fucking cooked, because the only, like, most of the shit people post on there, like for the public, is just lowest common denominator, lowest effort slop to get like enough clicks to get monetized and like make fucking $7.
Yeah, Facebook,
so that they can pump out the next garbage.
Yeah, Facebook is like genuinely so like antithetical to human life that they are like boasting that they are going to have legions of fake users replying to fake posts on Facebook.
It's insane.
I don't know. It's like
insane.
It needs to be said. I think we're gonna do a proper full episode about Facebook and Meta very soon. But it just needs to be said that fundamentally, Mark Zuckerberg is a motherfucker who has not had like a good marketable idea in like over a decade now, and like it's really starting to show.
He's such a fucking loser. He's such a fucking loser. Like, he's an even bigger loser than Elon Musk in a lot of ways.
I'm actually going to say I do think he's worse than Elon Musk, because this is not to give him credit, but like when you look at like the big technologies that like Elon Musk is known for, like, okay, electric vehicles, space travel, on some level these are things that people actually want and like are worth funding on a certain level, even if, you know, Tesla sucks or whatever. But you look at the things that like Meta has been putting out for the last few years, the fucking metaverse, right? This was
garbage.
This is going to be so big that they renamed their entire fucking company. And, you know, maybe they did it because like, oh, the metaverse is going to be big. I think they renamed their company because the word Facebook is just like it's fucking filth. Nobody likes Facebook, you know. So, but that's just my opinion. But
and that's why he kind of went down this road, and I'm sure like that's like it's funny because he's less of an idiot than Elon, but Elon like fail-sunned his way into the government, which is fucking insane. So now he's trying to like Zuck is trying to like get on board with the changing winds of just like fucking garbage, and now he's like, oh, we got rid of fact checking, and so now which the whole fact checking thing is, and I we're gonna do a whole episode on this, so I'm not gonna talk too much about this right now, but it's so funny that it went from like free speech to like, so now you can say trans people are mentally ill. Another example of this is that gay people should all be put in jail because they're disgusting and mentally ill. And it's like, did we need the examples?
I want somebody to do a breakdown of all the things you're allowed to say about like immigrants or like queer people now, and replace those nouns with like billionaires, and see if you're still allowed to say it. I think the results might shock you.
Exactly. Yeah, and free speech. No, not like that.
Yeah, and very appropriately, I don't know if you noticed this, but Zuck has had like a rebrand. He's had like a makeover. He's trying to present himself a little differently nowadays.
So fucking pathetic.
And like in the spirit of all these changes, I like how, like, the way he's dressed in the video announcing all of this, he looks like one of those like high school boys that like definitely says the N-word when it comes up in songs.
Without
you know
question.
what I mean?
it's so funny. He's like a 45-year-old man who like got a makeover to look like Jake Paul. It's so fucking lame. What a fucking dork.
And it's so transparent too. It's one of those like oh, I picked up this new hobby and now I've made it my entire personality. The way he talks about, like, yeah, I was taking some jujitsu classes and I went boar hunting in Hawaii or something. It's like, congrats, dude. You did like two masculine things and now you think you're like one of the epic chud posters or whatever.
Oh, without question. It's like Elon with this fucking gun and shit. It's like, you guys are LARPing. You're not only LARPing as a human being, you're LARPing as like a lame
not even a good human.
And you're failing at it. That's a fucked up part. You're trying to be a lame person and you're not even doing that well. Like, you are not a human. You're not a human being. You're fucking sad. You're sad.
I don't know.
Pathetic.
I don't know to what degree this is like some poorly thought out like marketing PR firm. Like, okay, you got to dress like this if you want to reach these people versus like this is his own doing. But I feel like, I don't know. I think this might be authentically Zuck. This feels like a kind of ineptitude that, like, I don't know. I think a PR firm would do a little bit better than this.
So my theory is that it is a PR firm, but it's like he would have PR, like he probably hired a bunch of PR firms because he has unlimited money, and they were like, you need to like stop being weird, and he was like, I don't like this PR firm, I'm firing them, and then he finally found one that was just like, yeah, everything you're doing is cool except wear a chain that hasn't been relevant since 1997 and get like a Zoomer haircut. That'll be $10 million for consultancy. Thank you. Goodbye.
We're workshopping some new slogans for Meta. We were thinking something like "Get Mizzy with it." I think that'll be really hip with the kids these days.
What a fucking rube. What a douchebag.
What a fucking dork. It's like, I don't know. Like, this guy belongs on the inside of a locker. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's a thing. That's my main beef with like with like, you know, the current capitalist system and the myth of meritocracy is like, if this was like a world with no money and no, you know, like status in the sense of like power or whatever, and the only currency was just like reputation, these people would be fucking bullied to death. Like, they're fucking dorks, man. They're
absolutely
dorks. I would be kicking the shit out of this dude every time I saw him. And I'm not even a bully. Not anymore, at least. I did bully some kids in my younger years, and I feel bad about that. Because those kids didn't deserve it, probably. I don't know. Maybe they suck. I don't really remember.
A lot of kids do kind of suck. I don't know. It's kind of complicated. I'm not going to get into a whole big thing, but I know, like, back when I was a kid, I was both bullied by some kids and I also bullied other kids myself. So, you know, it's not a clear dichotomy or whatever. The point is, Zug belongs on the inside of a locker, and then I think that locker should be turned over to the people of an independent Hawaii, and they can do whatever they want with it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe get a little volcanic with it. Who knows?
I agree with that. Yeah, it definitely,
like I'm very ziggurat pilled, but you know what? I'm open to the volcano solution as well. I think that's also very good. Both of these things appease the ancestor spirits at the end of the day. So
yeah, exactly. That's really what it needs to come down to. It can't just be like for your own bloodlust. Like, it has to be positive in the end.
No, that would be dishonorable.
Yeah, you have to feed the ancestor spirits. So, like, the volcano would be flame. You can also, and I'm not, to be clear, I'm not advocating for any of this. I'm just stating facts.
No, we're just this is hypothetical. We're just like, this is just like discourse that we're practicing our free speech, like you can do on Meta.
You could put someone on the top of like a very tall structure and let the crows pick at them, and that's and let the wind wear them away, and that's to the wind god.
Did you know that that in Mongolia they call that a sky burial, which is very metal?
Yes, yeah. I've heard of that. Yeah, and Mongolians are fucking cool. So we should respect their ancient and incredible culture.
I'm not even saying we should do anything. I'm not advocating for anything. I just think the people of Mongolia should get to decide what to do with the Zuck locker.
I agree
the
with
Zuck box.
I agree with that. Yeah, and then
and then we can
water and earth are pretty obvious.
Yeah, and then we can all go meditate and chill out a bit and work on our calligraphy and just post wise things to Rednote.
Yeah. And I think that would make for, a more harmonious society. And I am I don't think this is a secret at this point. I am a big hater of Confucius. I think Confucius was a piece of shit.
Right.
I think his philosophy is garbage.
Absolutely. Not wise at all.
Yes. And I have no hate for the people who are still under the thumb of his philosophy, just as I have no hate for people fundamentally who are under the thumb of the Protestant work ethic or anything, as we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we need to do less of that and do more Wiseposting, and give agency back into the hands of those who are truly wise, which number one, the hosts of Super Despair World, and number two, the patrons of Super Despair World, and number three,
together, we all form a kind of like higher, like sagely class of society that bestows wisdom to the non-podcasters.
In the upward mobility of this class, and then like below that is the listeners, and
our students.
If you wanna, and if you just wanna, if you wanna rise to the next class, it only takes a sinister $6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and you also have to study for our extensive exams.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we can bring back that system for sure. Yeah, we'll bring back Ronin and all that type of stuff. Like if you fail the exam, you just rudderlessly have a good time for a year before you get serious again.
Yeah, I look forward to us having a bigger and maybe more aggressive audience in the future, because then they can be like our samurai cast, and they can go out and spread our wisdom by the sword.
Yeah.
Figuratively speaking.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying we're starting a cult, but
no, not at all. It's more of a clan.
Yes.
Well, okay, I guess that means something else in the West, but it's an association.
Clan with a C. Clan with a C. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It needs to be said. Obviously, jokes aside, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like, oh wow, I guess Briar and Dave are both like hardcore, like tanky stands of China or whatever, guys. I don't think it's like that. Like, at the end of the day, of course, I know China's a big country. I know their government is like self-interested, just like every other government, right? I just feel like, I don't know, looking at everything we talked about today, I just think this little cultural exchange is just a beautiful moment, and I hope it has lasting effects long term. I think a lot of people are learning a lot about the world very quickly, in spite of everything. Yeah.
No, for sure, and. Like, I personally hate every country, and the tier list is like country in terms of how powerful they are, because like that usually correlates with how authoritarian and shitty they are to their subjects.
Right.
But like the people of all these countries, I got no beef with any of these people as a group. I mean, if you like suck as a person.
Yeah, like maybe a good example of this. I know we're going long, but whatever. I know we've talked before about the whole like this gender war thing going on in South Korea, right? And like I watch all these documentaries about like drama where like the artists of these big Eastern gacha games are getting harassed by like insane netizens or whatever. And like I look at stories like that, and you know it's very easy to walk away from all of those things and go like, wow, it seems like Korean men seem like pigs or whatever. They seem like really fucked up or you know what have you, but like even then, you know, like that's not everybody, right? I look at other things, like who is that dipshit YouTuber who just like travels abroad to like harass people or whatever. He like
Johnny Somali.
Like I remember seeing some of the videos where like he was fucking with people in South Korea, and he did a bunch of like really insensitive things like groping the war women statues or whatever.
The comfort woman memorial. Yeah.
That's absolutely fucked up. And you know what? Props to every single one of those like ex-military South Korean dudes that just like beat the shit out of him in public. They're all heroes in my heart. And like whom amongst us would not do the same thing?
And like he fucked around in Japan, which like Japanese people are generally more kind of like timid in a way, like they just like really don't like to disrupt, you know, kind of society.
But a lot of low tier problems over there get resolved through like social norms or whatever that like he as a foreigner would obviously not respect.
However, even in Japan, he had a bunch of dudes chasing him down on the street and like beating the shit out of him.
Oh fuck yeah.
And Korea's a little bit more greasy than Japan in that way.
I can see that.
Dudes there fuck around like a lot less.
Well, it's because military service is mandatory over there, so all of them can throw hands at least a little bit.
I mean,
maybe.
Like,
am I wrong?
No. Well. I mean, it depends on where you're placed. A lot of them end up just like fucking riding a desk and doing computer shit. Oh, okay. They have to do basic training, but I don't think it like teaches you how to be an elite fighter. But
basic training is like gym class, but you get yelled at more.
for sure. But however, I mean that doesn't necessarily mean that if some dude is being a fucking asshole and disrespecting your country and its history and everybody who's in it, that if you saw this dude on the street, you wouldn't beat the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah, especially, you know, again, with the comfort women memorials, that is a very fucked up bit of history.
No, yeah. Like, and that's the thing about Johnny Somali is he thought, oh, these like stupid Asians are just like pussies, and like I can go to their silly Oriental country and just fuck around and say like Nagasaki, Hiroshima, ha 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 ha, and then just like be like a dickhead, and like but they're all bitches, so nothing will happen. And like that is a definition of fuck around and find out, and that motherfucker found the fuck out.
Oh, hell like, yeah.
In Korea doesn't fuck around with shit like that, with like foreigners committing crimes.
I don't think he's been convicted yet, but I think he might be looking at upwards of, what was it, like 17 years or something?
Yeah, and fucking good, because like if he gets sent to like real jail, they will fuck his ass up.
Oh, every single day. He's not gonna make it out of there.
Yeah, and good. Like,
I don't know. I think sometimes it can be very good to make a firm example out of certain people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, in this case, I support the iron rule of law and making an example out of people, and like shitty prison systems. Like in this case, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, it's like it's not great. But like, yeah, fuck this dude. And yeah, I mean, like when I lived there, I knew people who like got arrested for like having some weed or something, and like it was a big ass thing. Like they had to spend a legitimate amount of time in jail, they had to spend a lot of money to get out of jail, and then they got deported, and then they probably saw some legal repercussions once they got back to the States or wherever they were from. But this dude, like, yeah, he's fucked, man. He's fucked. They're going to throw the book at this motherfucker to make an example out of him, and I applaud that shit all day, every day.
Yeah,
Rock
I mean, inshallah, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Korea posts a lot of L's sometimes, but they post
Certainly.
a lot of W's too. And, yeah.
I mean, that's the way of the world. You know, nobody is all L's or all W's. It's all a little bit of both of these things.
Yeah. The arrest of the former president who tried to do the coup, that's a W. Johnny Somali, that's a W. Maybe work on them chaebol next, guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Korean food, also big W.
Huge
I need
W.
some more
And
of
that's
that.
what really matters.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, if Johnny Somali hated on Korean food, it would have been just like on site. Like,
On site. Yeah, absolutely.
Just dead.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough spitting facts and speaking
True.
wise for one day.
True.
I think we've bestowed enough wisdom, and now we need to let our students study what we've said and think about it.
Yeah, digest the wise words of this Bono.
I genuinely feel like this is gonna be like a recurring part of our show, like lexicon. Like I'm big on the dogs barking metaphor for like pointless noise and like dumb discourse online.
I've been using that so much.
I've seen
since
some of
you
our
brought it up,
use it as well, and I'm very happy about that.
And it's a perfect analogy, and the opposite of that is Wiseposting. Because dogs barking is noise without thought, and Wiseposting is thought without noise.
Oh yeah, fucking fire, brilliant, guys.
We gotta end on that.
Okay,
I got nothing else.
All right.
I emptied the tank on that one.
Okay, good night, everybody.
All right, good fight, good night.